Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I am here because it is another Wednesday. It is box day. Um, this was last week's box. We did the Kit Kat holder for the Kit Kat to be in vertically. Now, as I was making this box, I know you guys are going to ask me about directional paper with the Kit Kat going this way. So we're going to go ahead and make that box. Okay, so all we have to do is change up our measurements. Okay, so this is how I want the box to look. I want it to be horizontal instead of vertical. And so what I need to do is switch these two measurements, right? So now my left to right is 3 3/4. And my up and down is 2 3/4. And my thickness is still a 1/2 inch. That's not going to change. So now we're just going to, switch where we put the numbers. So we already know 1/2 inch. That's our easy one. That's the one you guys do not have a problem with. And then my 1/2 inch tuck, because I like a 1/2 inch tuck. A little tuck space. Okay. I went through all that drama with this and didn't even get a bird on the front. Anyway, all right, so I know I like to put my left to right numbers first. Okay, and now my up and down is 2 3/4. Okay, it doesn't matter. We're still going to do the same exact mathing. And I'm going to still get a calculator because I don't feel like doing it in my head. So 0.5 plus 3.75 plus 0.5 plus 3.75 plus 0.5. So 9 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 3/4, right? 2, 3, 4, 4 3/4. There we go. Okay. So my long side is going to be the pink side. So 1/2 plus 3.75, 4 1/4 plus 0.5, 4 3/4 plus 3.75, 8 1/2. That's right. Short side's my blue side. We need a 1/2 and 1 on both sides, which that should be the same. 1/2 and 1, 4 3/4, and, well, no, it's not going to be the same. 1/2 and 1 on both sides. We'll get those other measurements when we cut it. Okay, so now we need a piece of paper that is 9 by 4 3/4. I'm trying to find a directional one for you guys. It's not long enough. I may not have a directional paper. Hold on. Okay, I found them. So I need my paper to match up with the template. So put your paper in whatever direction that you're going to see. This middle part is going to go here. Okay. So if you have a full 12 by 12 sheet of paper, which let's just use whatever I have in here. It's easier to kind of see like this, but when it's a full sheet, sometimes it gets confusing. So let's just use, gosh. All right, today we're going to try to cut this piece down. So full 12 by 12 piece of paper still looks a little scary. But you just have to match it here. So you just have to look and say, okay, the long side is going to be my left to right. So however my pictures look left to right, that's what I need the long side to be. So this way. And then our short side is just going to be the length of the paper. So I know I just need to turn this and cut this short. So we need 9 by 4 3/4. So 4 3/4. And if it helps to rotate your book so you can kind of see what you're doing, this is what it is. Okay. And then by 9. Okay. So if you just want to cheat, just make your paper like this. 9 by 4 3/4. I know it's easier to see after I already got it, but sometimes it gets confusing. But again, if you cut your paper the wrong way, say you cut it, I don't want to cut through that paper. I don't have an example. Say you cut this the wrong way and your decorations ended up being the wrong way. That's fine. Just use the back as the front of your box. Okay, that's fine. Don't waste your paper. Whatever you cut it, just go with the flow. Okay. So on the 9-inch side, we need to score it at half. Four and a half. This is really thick paper. This is this is Home for Christmas by Cardstock, so it's super thick. 4 3/4. That's not right. That is not right at all. 0.5 plus 3.75. 4 1/4. The measurements in the description box are correct. Now, if you are following me and you did the wrong, it's fine. Just go back and do 4 1/4, 4 3/4, and 8 1/2. And then you're going to do 1/2 inch and 1 on the short side, 1/2 inch and 1. Rotate, do it on the other short side, 1/2 inch and 1. Okay. Just remember what score mark you were supposed to score it at. I just like to go ahead and fold mine. And it is going to have that little bit of a score line where you messed up. I mean, that's fine. People are just going to throw it away anyway. You can always take your bone folder and erase that middle accident. If that makes you feel better. See, it took it out for the most part. I don't really care. Alright. So for my scoreboard users, that is 1/2 inch, 1, 3 3/4, and 4 1/4. All right, same deal. And it does not matter whether you start from the left or the right. The only thing that matters is that you have your paper like mine, or it is set up to where your double score lines are on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to show you on the green side because it's easier to see. I typically start from the right. It honestly does not matter which side you start from. All you have to do is make sure you cut out the 4 boxes on the right, so the two squares and the 2 rectangles, and do the same thing to the top. Just keep in mind, whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. Okay. I like to bring mine back to starting position just because it's easier for me to remember what I'm doing and where I'm at. So I'm going to that vertical line, cutting off that first square, miter, miter. This one I'll just cut off the first squares just so you can see. It doesn't matter if you cut more than the first square or just the first square. The biggest thing is you don't want to cut too much into the top. Like you want that triangle, but you still need that top of that square. Now you're going to rotate it and you're going to cut up, off, miter, miter, and then cut, off. So this one I'm not going to miter, so I can show you why we have to miter, because I know what I just said was probably confusing, but it's not something I can really explain without showing you. So we have that one square that is not mitered at all. We just cut off the first square. Okay. Right now I'm just varnishing to make sure this box is nice and sturdy. Absolutely forgetting that I did that oopsie daisy square line. Not caring. Corner rounder, just to give it a little bit of a finished look. Oh no, I came in on an angle on this one. It looks pretty grubby. There we go. Okay. Yes, I'm struggling with the corner rounder today. I don't know. All right. Now we're going to go ahead. See, I'm back at starting position, and I want this to be my outside, because normally it would look like this. So it doesn't matter what you have on top, what you have on bottom. I forgot to miter this, and again, you can go ahead and close this up, but the mitering just gives it a little less resistance. You miter. If you forget to miter or cut off this little tiny bit, it's not going to matter. It just will give you more resistance. Okay, I'm going to use tape today. Getting all the way up to the edge. That's the most important. You want to get up to that fold line. And you want to make sure that you don't have any tape that's hanging over, because then your item will get stuck in the box and then it's just horrible. Okay. There we go, flat box. I'm going to go ahead and close up the bottom first so you can see that. Okay. Now remember, we did not miter this one right here, this tab. So this is what happens when you don't miter. Resistance. It does not want to close. And when it does close, it's going to be like, see that gap? So we miter all of that just to avoid that gap and that little tiny bit of resistance. Now, if you cut too much off on the flat, you're going to have a gap. So that's why you just want a tiny miter the edges. Basically what you're doing is just cutting off the rest of that score line. I don't know if you can see that score line in the camera. See right there where it's a little thick? You're just cutting off that score line. So just angle your scissors and cut that out. So now when we go to close our box, 0 resistance and 0 gap. Yeah, that's what all mitering is for. That is it. So now your Kit Kat's going to open to the top like this. It's an empty package. Well, actually there's like 1, 2 in there. And then when they open it and pull it out, it'll, you know, go this way. So there you go. So this one, I wouldn't even decorate. You could tie your ribbon, your leftover ribbon around it to make it kind of look a little finished. Put it in a plastic bag. You can add your little gems, whatever you want. You know, charge $3, $4 for it. Good to go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.